Welcome to Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. Today, we're going around the world. We're going to string around the world and the method of doing it. Stay tuned. All right, guys, so multiple viewers wanted me to string around the world. There's already a bunch of videos on there, but I'm going to do it for you today, per your guys' request. So, before we get started, remember what I taught you. If it's a Wilson, W up, okay? So make sure it's consistently facing one way. If you want it down, make sure it's down all the time. If you want it up, have it up all the time, okay? Make sure everything is tight, okay? Just make sure it's tight. Don't over tighten it, but definitely don't under tighten it, okay? Because if you under tighten it, it's going to be moving around. The racket's going to be shifting way too much. So enough of that. Let's get going. I'm using Dunlop Comfort Pro today, 16 gauge. Now, around the world was originally created because we didn't want the rackets being strung one piece and going bottom up. The way I was taught, we always want the strings, the stringing, to be top down. So after you're done with the mains, we should always want to be top down. The reason being, the rackets were built to actually withstand more pressure from the top to the bottom. That's the way it was taught to me. Like if you were to go bottom up, it would feel different than if we strung top down. And it would probably not be good for the racket either. So I just measured out my mains. So what I'm doing is I'm measuring the same thing because this is a 16 by 19. So it's 8 on this side. It's going to be at least 8 on that side, but this is going to be the long side. This is going to be the short side, but I'm still measuring 8. Okay. Just go in here. Just for time reference, I'm not going to use the Diablo today. Okay. Now, there is a difference if you use the Diablo or don't use the Diablo. If you use this Diablo, it will feel, your string job will feel a little tighter. But just for time reference, this is going on my pre-strung wall anyways. And I like to go do these first. And if you have a Bayardo machine, or if you have a machine that has a base clamp and a regular clamp, it's always base first and then regular clamp. And then it's the other way when you tighten it back up. All right, so I'm into a couple strings here. I'm just gonna run this one here, but not pull tension. Doubling back to here, taking that off. Again, base, regular. Okay, I mean, you guys have seen enough string videos that, you know, this is pretty simple to you. We're gonna get to the point where it's super important for you guys to pay attention soon. But what I'm doing is nothing you guys don't know. I'm sure you guys get tangled up like that too. Go under the machine, never go over the racket. Clamp as close as you can. Just gonna cut a tip in. Probably should have done that earlier, but I didn't. These Wilson freaking. Not quite sure why Wilson did that. Okay. Onward. You guys are wondering why I chose Dunlop Comfort Pro to string. It's easy. I like the string for stringing, actually. It's one of the easier synthetics to string. So I'm not going to pull that, go back to the short side. Do a couple short sides. I'm at my last main. There's one main that would go down here, which would come like this normally. So I am not going to run that one right now, okay? I am not going to run that one right now. I'm gonna finish my long side and then show you what I'm gonna do. All right, I'm also not going to add poundage to this string, okay? So I'm not gonna add poundage to this last main on the long side. Now, I'm gonna take the short side, which is a lot of string now, and basically run it as my first cross. So I gotta give it a little space here. Okay, so I'm gonna run it as my first cross here. Okay. I'm gonna go just probably go. You know what? I'm gonna go under this one. I'm gonna go under that one. But I'm gonna show you a trick just in case. If you want to go over, you can. If you want to go under, you can. It's just we'll figure it out. And I'll show you what to do. Okay, so what did I just do? Instead of running this main down here, tying it off, and then having to start the one piece from down here and go bottom up, right? I'm actually running what would have gone here into the first cross into this side, okay? Now, I'm gonna run tension there. Now, I can't take this off because I will lose tension and all my tension there, okay? And obviously I can't take this off either. There is no knots right now. So I have to take one of these starting clamps and put it right there, okay? Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna double back to this, okay? I'm gonna double back to this. I'm gonna lose a little tension here, but I'm gonna add on later, okay? But I need this to hold tension now for the string bed, okay? So I'm going back to the long side now. I'm going back to the long side. The long side. And I'm going to run my first cross underneath. Okay. I should probably just go under here too. I don't think it really matters. I'll go over. So you choose whether you want to start under or over. I'll show you a trick in a minute. Okay. So now we got cross here, cross here. This part of this cross will be a main, okay? So it'll be this main, the last main coming up, like this. Okay? All right, do you guys follow me? Okay? So long side coming through, taking over that last main on the short side. So I'm going to run tension here. I can take this one off, okay guys, because this is holding tension. And I'm going to clamp it down here. Okay. Oops. I'm going to come up to this last main on this short side, and I'm going to tension here. Okay. I got to buy myself a little room here. Okay. So this now becomes a cross, okay? Second cross from the top. So here's the thing. Very important. We don't really care about this one right now as to how it's done. We care about this one though. So because we're not doing this string, this isn't guiding us. So we need to figure out where this is. Now, I'll show you in a minute what I mean. So this right here, this string right here on this corner, this is under, okay? So it's coming under this main, okay? So we're going to count holes now. It's under this one, over, under, 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 over. So I need this to be over, which it is, okay? So that's over. That's under, and I counted the holes in between. So it should match up by the time I get down here. And we check the string up here, and that is the opposite of this also, which is over. That's under, okay? Now, if you were to screw up, and let's say this was under right here, you could easily back this out at the end and make it right, okay? I just got lucky this time. Okay, so I'm going to just continue stringing it. I hope you guys understood what I was talking about with the over-unders, because you know each string is supposed to be the opposite of each other. And I was counting that second string. I was counting this string because this string is missing one here. So that's why I know this all the way up will have unders and overs.
going to continue.
So we leave this though, okay? We leave this. We pull this. And then now that this has tension, this has tension. 1, 2, 3. This can be let go. So, I just wanted to, so you guys always have to make sure what you let go of. So now this can be let go. I like to check at this point whether we're good. So I just choose one line. This is under, that's an over, this is an under. Okay? So I just want to make sure we're doing a good job and we're doing it right. Which we are. I know this starting clamp is kind of in the way, but it's kind of, you kind of have to have it. You could probably get rid of it now if you want to, but I'm just used to it. Because if you think about it, I have no knots right now. So if we were to screw up right now, I could back the whole thing out. And I like to string one ahead, as you guys know, and I like to straighten it out as the tension head is pulling it so that there's no loss of any tension. So you're going to gain a little more tension towards the bottom because you got one on the bottom, one cross on the bottom already strung. Well, actually, you'll get more tension anyways, but a little more than usual as you get to finishing up the racket. As you guys would probably know that when you get to the bottom or even when you're starting at the top, it actually, there's a little more tension there, meaning it doesn't slide as easy when you pull the weaves. But in the middle, it's super easy. Normally, depending on what string you use. That's over, that's over. I'm under. Okay, perfect. This will be my last. Okay, double check, everything's good. Everything is good. Just gonna cut some of that off because I don't need it. Pick a hole, any hole that'll take it. Looks like it's gonna be that one. Okay, now I was taught doing a double hitch to end it, so that's what I'm gonna do because my single hitch. Grab another one of these ending ones. Grab one of these and just towards you, back to me, towards you, back to me. Yeah. I just like this because I know that I can tension it myself. The second one doesn't really need to be that, like by doing this, I know that I'm tensioning it some instead of tying a knot and just letting it kind of sink in. So I cut that. Now, we're not done yet. We're not done yet. I got to hit the button here that says I'm tying a knot to add some more, to add 10% more to this. Okay, which I just did. I'm gonna let go of this now. I need this clamp to hold it in now. Okay. We'll let go. Knot feature goes away. Find my, looks like this one wants it. Okay. So, can I go that way? Oh no. Let's see. Nope. I can go that way. I'll choose to go this way. I can go cross on here if I want to, right? Or I can go up here. I mean, I could just go right here. It doesn't. Here. Again, single hitch, and then the double hitch will be next. I just like it. I just like doing this because this is how I was taught, and I'm able to actually tighten up the knot a little bit on my own. I know it crushes the grommet, but it's not that bad, guys. It's not that bad. All right. So second hitch, make sure I cut. So that is, we just went around the world in 15 minutes there. Right? Straight. We went top down. I did it correctly. So here's the quick trick, guys. Make sure when you get to that short side that after you do this string that you don't wind up doubling them. Make sure that it's going to be this line is going to be the opposite of that line. Okay? Make sure this line is the opposite of that line by counting the second, right? The second main. So if these two mains are going the same way, if these are both over, don't worry about that because you can always restring this top one to be the opposite of this one. Okay? Let me repeat. If these two are the same and you chose to go that way here, you can always change this top one because you aren't tying anything off yet. What is super important is that wherever you start on this second one will wind up the opposite of this one down here. So as you progress down, you got to make sure that this second string will be the opposite of that string there. Okay? So that's why I said, I was counting grommets over, under, right? Or up, down, because we need to wind up the opposite of that last cross on here. Okay? I hope that makes sense to you for all you stringers wanting to do around the world, because we do not want two crosses doing the same thing. Okay? They have to be the opposite of each other. Okay? I hope that you understand that. If not, rewatch it. Okay? All right, guys. Special guest visiting from the Windy City. Guys, what's your name and where are you from?
I am Steve Marcus, and I am from Chicago.
And I am Judy Marcus, and I too am from Chicago.
All right. All the way from the Windy City to Northern Cal, Marin, to see me. Thank you guys so much.
We came to buy a racket.
All right. I love that. All right. Taking us out today is Steve.
Thank you for watching Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis.
Go tennis. Spin.